What's up guys, my name's MC, I'm a filmmaker based in Manchester, UK. This channel is all about filmmaking, tips and tricks, and things that will help you become a better filmmaker and creative. And in today's video, I think we're gonna go over something that's very, very important, and that's lighting, but specifically 3-point lighting. So this was something that I struggled a lot with when I started university. I didn't really get 3-point lighting, and it's funny because it sounds really simple. You have 3 points of lighting. And that's kind of the basic concept, but how one sets it up is what confused me a bit. So I'm gonna break it down for you guys to make it really, really simple, because once you understand how to do it, it is actually very, very easy. And once you know how to do it properly, you can then take advantage of every single aspect of 3-point lighting to then not use all 3 points and create different looks. So let's break it down. Okay, so here we've got a shot that shows 3-point lighting accurately used. Now this was filmed a while ago, hence the different clothing. So basically, we have 3 lights for this scene. We have a key light, a fill light, and a hair light. Now the hair light can be called a few other things, like it could be called a kick light or a kicker or something like that. It's a hair light, whatever you want to call it, it's totally fine. Now, let's go over the 3 lights. The key light is your strongest light source in your shot, in your scene. This is where the most amount of light will come from. It is called the key light because it's like the main light for your scene, as it's the strongest. This will be used usually on your subject to provide the most amount of detail in the shot. Now, of course, this can create some cast off in the shadows. As you can see on the other side of my face in this shot, there's a lot of fall off into the shadows. You can't see as much detail anymore because it's all fallen into darkness. This is where something like a fill would come in. Now, a fill doesn't necessarily have to be a light. It can actually be a reflector as well. So you can use any sort of like cheap £20, $20 reflector from Amazon. Those work perfectly fine as well. Or you could use just any like white reflective surface or any white surface. You could even use a white t-shirt. Those actually work a bit. And then you can reflect light from the key light onto the other side of the face that's in darkness and fill in some of the shadows, bring back some of the detail from the person's face. So as you can see so far, we've got a key light, which is providing a lot of detail, and a fill light, which is just filling in the shadows on the other side of my face. But it looks like I'm falling into the background. You can't really separate me from the black background behind me. This is where a hair light comes in. Now the reason it's called a hair light or a kicker or whatever, but the reason people call it a hair light is because it literally is a light for your hair. Or if you're bald, it's a light for your back of the head. But it's literally a light that goes and shines on the back of your subject's head, thus separating them from the background because you can see the details on the back of their head. So like in this shot here, for example, of me talking to you right now, you can see I've got the key light here, which is bringing a lot of light to the side of my face. This side has a bit of shadow to it, but there is actually a light over here, which is not as strong as the key light, but it's filling in the shadows here. And then behind me to my left, or your right? Yeah. There's actually a Gemini 1x1 over there that you can see. I like having it in shot a little bit. And that is just providing, for one, a little bit more light to this side of my face. It could actually do with being a bit further back, if I'm honest. But now you can see how it literally is going and casting a nice gold glow on my hair, on the back of my head, and separates me and my chair even from the background even more. And it helps make me pop as a subject. It also just makes for a more cinematic and pleasing image, like cinematic and pleasing image. So let's just quickly show what this would look like if we use each light one by one. Now you can see that apart from the key light, these lights on their own don't really do a lot for the subject. The hair light alone, it really doesn't do a lot. The fill light alone, it really doesn't do a lot. The key light can be an interesting look. It can be a very contrasty look where the person falls into darkness. I think that's a cool look. And to be honest, all these lights alone, whilst they may not always be the best on their own, you can actually use them alone if you're going for that sort of look. If you're going for a very dark look where all you can see is the detail of the back of their head so that you know there's someone there but you can't see what they're doing, that would be cool. Maybe you're doing a horror film or something like that. So now that you guys know how these lights work, it's time to talk about positioning. So I'm gonna switch to my phone right now so you guys can see what I'm seeing so that you can see how these lights are positioned around me. Okay, so there's you. Hello. Right. So we have our key light here, okay? Nice, big, bright source. This is a Gemini 1x1 with a DOP Choice softbox. Very bright source. It's only at like 40-ish%, something like that, okay? I'm facing the camera here, it is 45 degrees to my left. So from what you're seeing on, or were seeing, was 45 degrees to my right. Typically, this is what you do. You put it a bit to the right or left of your subject to the 45 degrees from them. This provides just that nice little contrast on the other side of the person's face. Now, to the fill light, we have over here an aperture Amaran something LED light, right? Very low power right now. It's on like, I think it's on 20%, but this isn't a very bright LED. That would be 45 degrees to my right. So from what you've been seeing to my left. So we have the key light and then the fill light. They're on opposing ends. Same sort of angles, although for the fill light, I could maybe move it a bit more over here, but obviously there's a desk in the way. Now for the hair light, another Gemini 1x1, literally right behind me. Just literally right behind me. 45 degrees to my left, but just right behind me. And that's it. That's basically how it works. Ta-da! So yeah, that's it, guys. 3-point lighting, it seems complex at first, but once you actually know how it works, once you break it down, understand what each source is, and most importantly, where you place all of these sources, it's actually relatively simple. This is something I use for all of my filmmaking work, but like I said, once you understand how it works, you can understand how to not use it all the time. If you want to go for that contrasty look, like I said, you can just use a key light. Or if you want to go for a really dark and gritty feel, maybe only use a hair light or only use a fill light or something like that. Lighting is basically like painting, and it's very, very interesting, and you should honestly just try out all sorts of positions, maybe some top-down lighting, which I'll definitely discuss in another video because that's a very interesting look, or some down-up lighting. Under, up, what the hell do you call that? Or even something called clamshell lighting, which I'm going to discuss in another video, which is something I use for my girlfriend's beauty videos, which is a very, very nice beauty type look. So anyway, guys, that's been it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you found it useful. Please smash the like button below. It really helps out these videos and is really helping the channel to grow. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you learned something and enjoyed your time here. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.